sir. Councilmember Clevenger has requested council consideration of adjusting the pay of city council members. The council members are currently paid $200 per month, and the mayor is paid $600 per month. Councilmember Clevenger is proposing compensation of members of the city council be increased from the current $200 to $300 per month. We have provided a history of council compensation since 1984 for your review. We would note that the Missouri Constitution provides that no change to the pay of a member of the governing body can go into effect during the term in which they're serving. So it would be our suggestion that if there is council consensus to proceed, that with any ordinance not to take effect until April of 2017, so that when it does take effect, it would apply to all the council members currently serving. If there is council consensus to proceed after tonight's discussion, then we would bring an ordinance to you for your formal consideration.
Zach, you want to speak to that?
I just wanted to throw this out here as far as a possible discussion. I know that before we were meeting 4 times a month, and now we're meeting twice, although we are having quite a few work sessions at 6 o'clock p.m. So I think, the council did it. I was not on the council when it was reduced. It was done in good faith when the budget crunch was happening. So I just wanted to see if we could get some consideration of this. Another Councilmember Stephan, had brought up to my attention today as well that if we were doing it for elected officials, such as city council members, he did note that the city treasurer's paying compensation was reduced as well, and wanted us to look into that. He can expound on that if he'd like. So I think it would allow for some of us. I do a newsletter every 6 months to my residents. Allow me to maybe do some more newsletters more frequently to keep the residents informed. And it's just something I just want to throw out for discussion. Craig, you want to talk about it?
I would be, you have to excuse my voice. I would lean towards favoring this if the city treasurer's compensation was also increased at least the same amount, if not more.
I would agree. Everybody wants more money, which is just a natural thing to desire. None of us are here to make money, obviously. You're not going to miss a mortgage payment or miss a meal because of the salary that we're getting. I could live either way. Be happy to get a little more money. I think everybody here behind the thing here would agree that they wouldn't mind a little bit more money. But on the other hand, if it didn't hold, nobody's going to go out and shoot themselves either. I ran a list of those jurisdictions that were getting paid and what they were getting paid just for the fun of it. I'm not a mathematician or anything, but I added all the numbers up and divided it by the number of jurisdictions, and it runs about $260 average for the people that are on the city council. So I don't think $300 would be out of line for our city of our size. Some of the littler cities are making even more money than we are. So I would vote, if it came up tonight, I'd vote for a raise, sure.
Yeah, and I also agree with Councilman Stephan and Clevenger that we ought to look into the city treasurer's compensation also that was reduced at the same time the council. I would support both.
So this is the same rate that the council makes now and the mayor that were in place in 1984? Is that how, did I read that correctly?
That's correct.
So that's 30 years ago?
Yes.
Just to do the math in my head. The other point I was going to make is that regardless of what we decide for this council, I think what's important to me personally is if I ever decide I don't want to run again, I wouldn't mind incenting my neighbors to step up. And I don't know if this difference, if this makes a difference, but if we can sweeten that pot and get more diversity and more folks involved in city government, no offense guys, to run for office, and this makes a difference, then great. Then I think it's a small price to pay for that advantage. So and for those 2 reasons, I'm in favor of this.
A little history. Years ago when I was on city council, I made a motion, and that we receive $1 a meeting, and Bledsoe seconded it, but it didn't go anywhere. But that was the same thing Gladstone was getting. So Gladstone increased theirs at all, they still get $1 a meeting.
$100 a year is what they get.
Yeah. So, yeah. But a little history.
I think Valerie makes a good point on kind of maybe enticing other people to be involved. Although we don't do it for the money, we do it for the public service.
What was it we took?
You want you to, looks like you want them to go ahead.
Can you-
I hear council consensus on council member salaries. With regard to the city treasurer, is there any direction?
I'm in agreement.
Yeah, you have
To do what?
include that raise for her.
So $100 raise for the city treasurer? Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't know what it is now, I guess.
It's $50. The one thing just from math, one for consideration, you all would be increasing your salary by 50%, from $200 to $300. A 50% increase for the city treasurer would be $50 to $75.
What was the treasurer's compensation in 2011 before we lowered?
I think it was $200 at that time. It got reduced to 50.
Well,
Let's not make this cloudy. Several years ago, the city treasurer's compensation was reduced greatly.
Just a correction, it was $250 and reduced to $50.
What was it,
2011.
And all I'm saying is, city treasurer should get $100 plus the 50 increase.
I'm in favor of that.
I have no trouble with that, and that's good.
All right, so what we'll put before you for your formal consideration would be an increase in council monthly compensation of $100 and an increase in the city treasurer's monthly compensation of $100. I'll bring that to you for formal consideration shortly. And also, yes, we would, in our ordinance, draft it to make it effective April 2017. Is that correct? That way you would all be getting compensated the same thing.
Fine.
All right, that's what we'll do. Thank you.
Fine, whatever.